Before you dive into the world of Metaphor ReFantazio, there are a few game-changing tips you need to know to maximize your adventure. In this video, I'm going to break down the essential mechanics like utilizing face sight to gauge enemy strength at a glance, mastering the art of stunning enemies before the battle, and how to optimize party formations for strategic advantages. These tips will make your journey through Metaphor ReFantazio so much smoother and way more fun. Let's get started. Face sight is very similar to Persona 5's Third Eye if you're familiar with that franchise. What this does is it allows you to use Fae Gallica's sight to check enemy difficulty that is relative to your level at a glance via assigning colors. The game briefly goes over this, but let me break it down for you. Red means the enemies are hard and they're much higher level than you. Yellow means the enemies are at the same level as you are, and blue means the enemies are lower level than what you are currently. And then white means that they're unknown and they've not been encountered yet. Once you do encounter an unknown enemy, they will be assigned a color depending on how difficult they are based on your level. So this is a good thing to use if you're wanting to farm and want to know how difficult an enemy is before taking it on. This should go without saying, but always try to stun the enemy before combat starts. This is doable once you get access to squad combat. In the overworld, attack an enemy until their break gauge depletes, and then you can start the battle with a squad combat. Once you do this, the battle will start with them damaged and they will be stunned. Then you can attack using their weaknesses to get the upper hand early in the fight. Plus, if you hit them with their weakness and even hit them with some crit damage, this will only use half of your press turn, allowing you to get more attacks off much faster. All in all, this is a great strategy to use because when you go into combat, you always want to have the upper hand at least as much as possible. So make sure you're always breaking enemies, using their weaknesses, and trying to get the crit damage. On the flip side of squad battles, once you get a high enough level, you'll be able to just run around and attack lower level enemies and kill them without initiating battle. This is pretty similar to Star Ocean's Second Story R. You could do this, but the enemies would attack you and they would just kind of die if you were like really high level. This one you can kind of just run out and attack them and have them just die. So you don't have to like initiate the combat. This is a great way to farm XP, mag, and Reeves because you still get the same amount as if you were in a squad battle and actually initiated the combat. However, you will not get the Unscathed Triumph bonus that is a squad battle exclusive that adds your rewards if you come out of the battle unscathed or unharmed or whatever. So you can farm outside of battle if the enemies are lower level than you, but you do miss out on a little bit of bonus. As with pretty much every RPG, there are main jobs and classes. Metaphor ReFantazio is no different. It's just they're called Archetypes. And Archetypes let you transform into these giant beings that have different aspects depending on which ones you have equipped. You have melee, magic or healing, and defensive or support. There are a total of 14 basic archetype lineages, but as you strengthen your bonds with your followers, this number can increase much further with adept archetypes and elite archetypes. You will absolutely want to use these to have access to really powerful skills as needed. Note that only characters that have awakened their archetypes can change and use them. With all the subclasses, there are a total of a little more than 40 archetypes, giving you plenty of room for customization. If you've played many RPGs, you are likely familiar with party formations and how they work. Metaphor ReFantazio, again, is really no different. You have a front row and a back row, and what this game does is some enemies have attacks that will only attack one row at a time, so you might come across an enemy that will attack the front row only or only the back row. So it's important to have your party members in the correct spots for certain battles so that they're best prepared for strong attacks or moves that the enemies or bosses are going to use. For the front row members, of course, you're going to want to have ones that can tank the damage. So you want to have melee users or tanks as usual. And then for the back row, you want to have the squisher party members like mages and healers. But also in traditional, I guess, row party formation fashion, the party members that are in the front row deal more damage but take more damage. And then again, the ones that are in the back row deal less damage but take less damage. So what's cool though is you are able to swap party members formations during combat. So if there's an enemy that's about to like pop off and use a big attack in the front row and you have someone that's about to die, you can swap, if it's their turn, you can swap them to the back row. That way they don't take any damage, or if it's a full attack, they'll probably take a little less damage. But you can do that, and it kind of gives you a little strategic advantage to swap them out and around as needed. So go out there, explore, and have fun. And I really hope this video was helpful. If it was, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell for more Metaphor ReFantazio tips. Thanks so much for watching. Huge shout out to all the YouTube members who support the channel. I greatly appreciate you guys for supporting and hanging out during the retro live streams. You guys are great. been a blast. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.